Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Diana and welcome back. So for today's video, fall makeup look, not sure what direction I'm going, but we're just gonna wing it. Let's get started. So the first thing that we're gonna use is this Morphe concealer in white. I think this is the C0.00. What I'm gonna do is get my little plate here, apply this concealer to the pan, and then I'm just gonna grab any brush, any flat brush, so something like this, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this all over my eye. And I'm basically putting this because I want my eyeshadow to pop more than usual, so I'm just kind of blending this all out. It doesn't have to be heavy-handed to cancel any redness, any veins, or anything like that. But I usually use this to make my eyeshadow pop. So I'm just making sure that I am blending this very, very well. The palette that I'm going to be using today is going to be the Jackyln Hill Volume 2 palette, which is this one here. This palette, because it does have a lot of purples, warm tones, reddish, so everything exactly for fall. I'm going to be using the Morphe M501, and I'm basically gonna go in with Perfectionist, which is this color right here, and I'm gonna apply this on my crease. So let's do that, like so. And this is going to be the transition colors from all the colors that we're going to blend together. And I like using a fluffy brush because it's not so precise. It's kind of like messy in a way, but also blending everything together. I'm just going to flicker it out a little bit, just like so. I'm going to add a little bit more. All right, I'm going to do the same thing to the other eye. It's also a very lovely day today. It's not that hot, but it's not that cold. It's like a nice breeze. So it's still in the 80s, so it's still hot, but it's not as humid. All right, now that we have kind of put our transition shade down, and that shade was Perfectionist, I'm gonna use the same brush, and I am gonna use Thick Skin, which is this color right here, and I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm not gonna bring it all the way up. It's gonna be a little bit lower than the first shade, so I'm just gonna pack it. I do have a big brush right now, but as long as I do not go over, it should be fine. And I kind of want a little bit of that color also on my lid. I'm gonna like really blend this out very softly, not going above the brow bone or anything like that. Right there. And then I'm going to also bring it down a little bit so there's no separation when I connect them together. Now with a more dense fluffy brush, this is the Wet n Wild. It doesn't have a number, but it's just the silver collection. I'm going to go in with Homebody, which is a shade right here. And I am going to pack this on also on the crease, but a little bit lower. So as you guys can see, we're packing the shade, but we're going lower and lower to our lid. So I'm gonna go ahead and pack it like so. So see how I'm not blending it, I'm just kind of packing it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start blending it, but very, very lightly, not so heavy, because then it's gonna go all over the place. And I'm bringing it in very gently. And it's a lot of warm tones, a lot of reddish tones in this makeup look. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So see how I'm holding the brush? I'm not holding the brush very tight. I'm holding the brush very, very lightly. And I'm letting the brush do all the work for me. I'm not going heavy-handed with it at all. So with a brush a little bit smaller, probably this one, and this is the Morphe M330, I'm gonna go in with G Money. This one here, it's almost like a brown sable kind of color. I'm gonna apply this just on the outer portion of my eye. So I'm just gonna pack it on. I haven't used this palette in so long, it's been a long time since I've used a Morphe brush. A Morphe palette. So I wanted to do a little throwback here and just use the products that I have without me having to go buy new ones, but just use the ones that I do have here to create a look, a fall look. Now with the more fluffier brush, which is the M501, I'm just gonna go ahead and lightly diffuse that product so as there's no harsh edges. So kind of diffuse back and forth, wiper motion, but do not go too high to the brow bone because then everything is gonna mix together. And I know I look a little crazy, but it will all come together. Trust the process. So I'm gonna get G Money again, and I'm gonna really keep packing this on. Oh my god, this is giving me like so fall vibes. Nice and warm and rich. Also, let me know if you guys like the camera angle. I did try something different, so I'm testing it out and see how I like it. But you guys are a little bit closer, but not that close, if that makes any sense. Before I was doing it a different way where I had you guys all the way behind the ring light. Now this time you guys are in front of the ring light. So let me know if you guys like that better. I'm blend it in so it's not harsh. Okay, so I do want to get like a really brown tone. I don't have that here in this palette, so let me check my other palettes and see if I can find a really true browns. Alright, so I did find that my Supreme Nudes Artist Couture palette, and I'm basically going to be using Aesthetic, which is this color here. We're probably mixing this together, and also going to put that on the crease, but with a more smaller brush. So I'm going to mix those two together, and I'm only putting this in the outer corner. I don't know why I have my pinky up, but I always do. It's a habit. And I'm also following my natural lash line. Once we put our full foundation on, it's gonna look so good. Mixing until I like how intense it looks. I ain't afraid of the eyeshadow, and neither should you be. Oh my god, this pimple is like really annoying me, but I'm trying to make the best. Homegirl still breaks out. So now I'm gonna go ahead and apply mascaras and put my false lashes. So I'm gonna go ahead and curl my lashes, give it a nice curl before applying my falsies. So I'm gonna be using my MAC Magic extension. I don't love it, I don't hate it, but it does the job for me right now. So I'm going to go ahead and now go into my complexion. I'm going to be using the NYX Bare with me. I usually use this to prime, not to set, but to really melt my powders together. So this is kind of like a dupe for MAC Fix Plus. So I'm going to go in with my Decay All Nighter Primer. Now this is a gripping primer, very similar to the Milk one. Now the Milk one is more of a clear consistency. This one has some color to it, so I kind of warm it up on my hand, and I'm just gonna press it into the skin. Okay, you guys can tell that I did not want to do my hair today. Like zero, no cares. Hair for me is like one of those things that I just can't get right. I absolutely cannot do hair. Like, tried it so many times, and I like packing it, and it does have a little bit of tackiness to it, so it's gonna grip onto your foundation really nicely. Now I am gonna be using also the NYX Pore Filler, and this is meant for your pores only. You can use it all over your face if you would like. I usually just use it for my pores, and I kind of blend it in as well and go downwards. Alright, I do have a damp brush here, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my plate once again. Whoop. And mix in my Nars Soft Matte Foundation in Aruba. And I do like mixing these together. Sometimes this one can be really matte, and I like a little bit of glowiness to my face. And I'm also going to be mixing that with the Nars Radiant foundation in Barcelona. Alright, so I'm gonna really mix this together. So this is how it's gonna look. I'm just gonna mix it together. And oh, I want to do something before I do this. Okay, I do want to use this Milani Supercharged Brightening Under Eye Tint, but I'm also going to be using it on my reddish areas from my acne. So I'm just going to get a little bit with my finger. So I'm just going to apply some here and kind of blend it a little bit outwards, like so it doesn't look so bright. Another one here. I've been breaking out like crazy. I know it's hormonal, so I know it has to do something with my mother nature, but still I've never breaking out this much. So I don't know if I'm taking too much coffee. I mean, I don't know if I'm taking too much coffee or too much milk or what is the deal, but it also took a little bit of the redness away, and that's exactly what I wanted, because the bump is not going to go away, but if I can reduce the redness, it's going to be great. So with my brush, I'm going to go ahead and apply my foundation like so, and I'm using the Morphe Y12, and I'm just kind of blending this out. So what I've been doing lately is applying my foundation with my brush. This is probably not a great brush, but it works because it really gets into every crevices of my face. So it kind of works for me. And I'm just gonna blend this out. I might need a little bit more because I put a little bit. So this is how it looks. I know I look crazy. I like this because I can get really close to my brows without messing up their shape. I know, look, I look so crazy. Okay, so now with my brush, not with my brush, but now with my sponge, whatever is left here in my plate, I'm just gonna bounce it to give me that really natural face. So I'm just gonna okay, so now that I kind of blended this all out very well, in my opinion, and for my concealer, I am using the NYX Hydrating Camel Concealer in the shade Medium Warm. So I've been testing this out for about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and I don't know if I love it or hate it. Like, sometimes it's amazing and sometimes I'm like, oh, it just looks too drying. So I don't know, like, let me know if this is one of you guys' favorite concealers, or what is one of your favorite concealers that I should definitely try. Here's my Morphe E8 brush, and I'm going to put a little bit of that NYX prime water. Alright, so my camera just turned off automatically, okay, and I'm just going to blend this out. So I'm going to press it into my skin like so, and then dragging it out. Like so. Give me that lift effect. So I'm just gonna press it. I said I was gonna put my lashes on, and I didn't put my lashes, so I'm gonna be doing that in a moment. Wow, I'm all over the place. We love that. And I'm gonna put a little bit in my chin and my nose and in my forehead. I don't usually put a lot here. With my Real Technique sponge. Oh my god, so I've been seeing this other sponge by Real Techniques, which is the blue microfiber, or what is it? I can't remember. So now I'm blending my concealer with my sponge. I'm gonna go ahead and apply a little bit of powder, and I will be using my Dermablend Banana Illuminating Powder. I do use a little bit, not so much. I say that all the time, and then I end up with so much powder. So I'm just gonna look up. So sorry if I look kind of cray-cray. Just gonna look up and apply this. And whatever is left in the sponge, I go ahead and do the rest of my face. kind of melted into my skin. So the key to this is to always have your sponge damp when you put your setting powder underneath your eyes, so it really blends in and melts into your skin versus having it so dry underneath like so. So now I am going to be using my Fenty Beauty bronzer and caramel cutie. I'm going to be using this BH Cosmetic brush 3. Can't remember the collection. So I'm just gonna, usually you want to put this on first with your foundation before you apply any powder, but we're gonna give it a shot. And I'm also gonna be putting this on my plate, because if I put this directly on, might be trouble. I'm gonna get my sponge. Let her do its magic. Oh, I think I put too much. Okay, so when this happens and you put too much, just roll with it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and apply my lashes, because I said I was gonna do that way back into the video and I didn't. So let me do that really fast. All right, for my highlighter, while my lashes are drying and hopefully I don't forget about them, I am gonna be using the iluvsarahi Dose of Colors. Now this is an oldie but a goodie. It is amazing. Like, oh, gorgeous, blinding. Lashes have dried a bit. Do my bottom lash line, and I'm going in with the Aesthetic and Mink from the Supreme Nudes. All right, and coat my bottom lashes. I'm going to be using the Essence Extreme Lasting and 06 Silky Nude, and I'm going to be using the Juvia's lip liner in So Rare. And I'm going to be using my Too Faced Hot Butter Rum. And I believe this is a collection from last year, which is a nice terracotta color. And I'm going to go back with my lip liner and I'm going to line them again. Just kind of lost that color. So now, lastly, I'm going to be using the Perfectionist. You guys see, I've seen me use this 1,000 times. Alright guys, that is basically my fall makeup tutorial, from eyes to foundation to lips. I also will be listing every single product down below. That way, if you guys want to recreate this look, you guys can do so if you want to. And don't forget to thumbs up this video if you have enjoyed this video, and subscribe if you haven't already. And also hit the notification bell. That way you guys can get notified every single time that I upload a video. And that is it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys till next time. Bye guys.